Well, as we're sitting here on Wednesday afternoon, December 3rd, I'm sorry, January 3rd, year 2024. Got to get used to the idea that indeed it is a new year. Wednesday afternoon, January 30th, 2024, here with the Hello Hello show. And just to remind you, I think this is the first show of 2024, and I'm wishing myself to be able to be as fruitful as possible and to continue pushing with this specific, particular state of mind, um, devotion, determination, focus. Uh, and even though I can be a little overwhelming in the way that I use to choose language and expression and free expression and alternative expression and freestyle expression, all of this. Um, there is much to be said, of course, in the sense of what's happening here within the concept of public access. I try very hard not to fail to mention the contribution by Fraser Dougherty, that, of course, with many other followers and participants, the founder of LTV and the concept of this wonderful concept, public access, and the level of formidability of this concept in this station that has already an aura of its own just by the essence of its message and concept. Um, and we are a part of it, and we're happy to be a part of it, proud to be a part of it. But as I said, not to fail to mention the contribution of Fraser Dougherty and the likes of him that joined him in this effort to bring about what LTV now is today, and of course by the help of many others now as we speak. And Francis Anded was his life partner, and also showed a high level of concern and camaraderie and compassion towards LTV and in particular to the concept of public access. And we welcome this as we welcome all of you. And we know that you're out there, and we know that actually, whether you know it or not, whether you're aware of it or not, you are a part of the enhancement and fortification of this concept, so much needed, and your effort does not go unnoticed, at least not by me. So I want to thank you, and I want to wish you and thank you at the same time. Wish you the best that you can ever wish from yourself to become, and you will have a frictionless journey where you'll be able to pick up the fractions of the many aspects of the meaning of the message that you want to deliver, and somehow in a miraculous way you'll be able to put it together as one whole, one piece, and have it be available to be presented to the masses. And that's the way we like it. And I think that I will try very hard this year to introduce myself uh, in front of you. I already introduced myself to the many aspects and options and possibilities coming out of a specific effort that's put in place. In my case, it will be like, it changes on daily basis. Lucky for me, because as an artist, um, I don't want to find myself where early on I was very much so bound. And then, first of all, I have to say that we don't have to do anything we don't want to do. We don't have to belong to anything we don't want to belong. We don't have to join anything we don't want to join. We don't have to accept anything that we don't want to accept. And we don't want to lie to ourselves. We want to be true to ourselves and truthful, and use the truth as a point of reference. And so to begin with, nobody should have any excuses, including myself. If it's something is going to go wrong and this, that, and I would kind of look back at myself, and it should be all clear. You made your own decisions. Like, some people can come and accuse you, but you did that to me, this to me, that to me, how awful, how this, and then you ask, well, why did you stay? Who forced you to stay so close to me? Who forced you? Who forced you? I have no control over your life. This is your life, your decisions, your journey, um, and so people sometimes are taken by it, and they say, maybe that's something I didn't think about. But I want to wish you, and also thank you, of course, wish you for the obvious things, for your effort, for your energy, and thank you for um, the appealing level of resolution and with withstandingness that is so helpful for us. And then I can tell you that most of it can happen without you even being aware that you actually are engaged in that. You know that you're engaged in goodness, in that which is constructive and positive, but you're not necessarily aware of the details and the information that tells you exactly what is it, what's the nature of that which you're engaged with. So for me personally, it's really easy then, therefore, having a podcast, having a space, having some kind of home, a shelter, and also a stage of embarkment. And to realize that at least half of the material, if I can call it for lack of a better word, that I have kind of externalizing here in sending forth is actually being created here live on the stage every time, whether it's live going out live or whether it's live just me, myself, and I. So that point of resolution and being resilient for that sake is only going to get worse. So I will be extremely considerate, but not by doing anything other than that which is challenging, mysterious, uh, appealing, yet full of obstacles, and it comes to you steady as she goes. It doesn't matter what kind of a day you're going through; it's going to be there, and you're going to have to attend to it and acknowledge it and refer to it, even if you were not to do any of the above. That silent acknowledgement will be enough. But the toll that it will take on you, whether you're engaged directly or indirectly, it will be the same toll that will be demanded, expected of you to pay. Yeah. So you might as well find yourself in the thick of it, because you're gonna have to pay the same price when time comes. And and that price can just be $100 bill, or it can be uh, 3 full days of chores that you hate the most to do, or it can be just about anything else. So sharing the things that I am able to have been said to here on this stage is something that I know that comes from you also. Even though I sit here and you're somewhere else, there's still the understanding of that level of sensitivity and um, um, and I have the word, I have the sentence, so I'll get back to it later. So that level of sensitivity, I know that what lies behind it. I mean, I know what lay, but I know the position through which it needs to download, to flatten the the bumps, uh, to deal with that rubbery immediate surface of contact, and to know in your own way, in your own unique way, that actually these are the colors, these are the tools, these are the shapes, these are the letters, these are your choices, these are your choices, and these are and this is the guideline for you to ignore the choices, to ignore that there is a display of something or someone is trying to make you aware of some kind of a schedule. um, so that's going to continue. The eruption, the ascending, the descending, the acknowledgement, the referrals, the um, attributes, the application, the mentioning, the spreading, the news, uh, in the invention, the becoming, the fading, the wholesome, the acceptance, the delivery, the journey, the speed, the rhythm, the emotion, the patriotism, the necessary sobriety, the uh, resolve across its levels, the importance, the um, the that which is crucial will be uh, addressed, guaranteed, and also just the for example, I wanted to uh, to share something with you that will serve as the second half of that description of items that I see for future's sake. What it is that I'm expecting for year 2024. So I'm already making it complicated enough for all of us all together forget that there is any kind of introduction into something refreshing and new and promising, um, a nice relief, a nice touch by Mother Nature that tells us, well, you're going to fall and you're going to fall hard, but it doesn't mean I can't treat you right before it happens. So this is the exploration into putting a portion of your destiny in the hands of something else, a portion of your destiny in the hands of something else. The I know better than to overexpose myself, so to speak. But and even if that happens, it doesn't matter really. It doesn't matter because there's so much material there in waiting for us. So much material. Oh my God! Anyone will come and tell me I can't write my next poem. I'm full of anxiety, or I approach the canvas is still white. It's been a couple of weeks and I cannot do it, and I can't play that piano for some reason. My fingers are frozen or something like that. I mean, yeah, I will feel very sympathetic, but only for a brief second, and then and then address and appeal and approach with not without uh, the necessary level of delicacy, but still, nevertheless, you facing the canvas and it's still white. Here you got the title already. I face the canvas and it's still white. So you want to be, you need to be pathetic. You need to be cliche. You need to be um, predictable. You need to whatever it is, but you are granted. But and you with the poem, searching the words and where are they? How are they to be? How we know? Searching the words. How are they to be? Wonderful title of the first poem and the title of the book, and the musical instrument is exactly the stillness of the frozen fingers. Are you kidding me? So it's like the harmony in waiting. Okay, here's the title of your book and the title of your first poem. So there will be a, a, a level of communication that will not expect anything less than full attendance, and that after everything is said and done, nothing has been said yet. And for the longest time, it's like this. After everything is been said and done, refers to the subcontext. But yet nothing has been said yet belongs to the subject itself, the context itself. It's interesting, actually. So, in this spirit, I just asked for mercy. And when I asked for mercy, I received this back. And it says, it's probable. No, this is for real, okay? It's probable Yet the bargaining growth pulses tenderly, a tumultuous realm, a warmthful spiral of ascent. Once I thought a bridge Once I thought a bridge nurtured the blossoming explosion. How does it cling to notoriety? A latched rim? You, the one who lifted the earth above ground, celebrating a pitched score, prevailing in triumph. Yet the inflated energy belonged to the separate cautious trend. A blast guided a bricklayer landing haphazardly with grace. Royalty set a standard for the indolent. The king retreated to indulge. I can't believe I just said that. Yet the ache is inconsequential, clearing the path of pain, slicing through the notion of humility, not just a spiritual notion, a crafted cave harboring treasures. Hopes oscillate within funnels of well wishers, yet they forgot to unveil the terror that accompanies a grim pattern amid rose petals grasping onto thorns just in case. So I don't know. I wish I wish I could read it more eloquently. It's so friggin' difficult. It's not even funny. So so that was just asking for mercy, and suddenly you realize you uh oh, good, already got a oh yeah. Okay, this is like, okay, this is too much. Just to mention again, we are here January 3rd, year 2024, here with the Hello Hello Show. My name is Haim Mizrahi. As I mentioned already, continuing the tradition of public access and the tradition of the Hello Hello Show that went along hand in hand since the early first days of inception, 1980 about, maybe even earlier. And so I was just in the midst of saying what it is that I'm expecting to put in place as 2024 is unfolding itself, and showing this level of restlessness already before it began, already sending us the vibes of restlessness. It wants to be a part of the preparations, a part of the putting together um, the early motions that are already in motion, and start the celebration a little earlier. So again, myself here at LTV and the kind of space that I have and the immediacy of everything, and the fact that if I feel something or think about something, I can really implement it and express it immediately, pretty much immediately. I mean, I can be driving here in the wonderful back roads of the Hamptons, and I can think of, even on the way here, as I'm curating art shows here and whatnot, and I kind of find myself coming here. And even if I didn't think that I'm going to record a show or something, I find myself actualizing and picking it up where I left it off while I was driving, that I thought it's very interesting. The things like that will just happen to cross my mind, and I don't let them leave me so quickly. I try to take advantage of the fact that you're struck by the kind of energy that you happen to favor and especially need. The timing incredible. Today I went through a day of timing, good timing, and so one doesn't need too many explanations when one realizes that the timing is right, and that good things happen on the behalf of that, and you happen to be a part of those incidents. And I'm going to make myself feel comfortable for a second. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Okay, so let's see if this is going to work. I think that this is not too shabby. So, yeah. So, the main thing I think for 2024 will be reflection. I think that it's something that I think I can speak for myself. I don't stop often enough to reflect. It's just because I feel pretty safe uh, in the midst of everything creative that's in motion that takes place in my life. Yeah, and I know for a fact that I need to pause more often and to reflect. Maybe LTV is a place that helps me to just reflect, because I get to myself. If I do this show for an hour and I talk about just anything that I want to talk about, this is just like I'm doing now. That's an hour of reflection, even though it seems like hard work, which just happens to be hard work. But when you agree with it so much, part of it for so long, it feels effortlessly, and it feels effortless and also rewarding in ways that you maybe didn't know in the past that it could be. So you start to enjoying the results, and also taking advantage, and also um, making it work for you, and improving the the process of putting things together. I like to put things together, usually in a very meticulous way, uh, in a place where, as I complete another circle and find myself again back where I left, I will end up indulging in the fact that things were preconceived and therefore were prepared for me. So when I complete the loop, it can be months later. You come around and you realize, ooh, a bag of goodies, and and it's designed so you will get together with it again when the timing is at its peak. In terms of how crucial and how um, blessed the moment can be when something happens in the right timing. So that will be another task here for 2024: reflection. And we need. I think I say need, like I say, I need, but yeah, certain things we need, certain things needs to be said that we need instead of I need, even though you can say I need and you mean we need, and to take certain things for granted, so much so that actually it will guarantee you that certain things must happen if you implement such an attitude, an approach, almost like a fixed head game that kicks in every time something that you decide what the thing is happens. And so reflecting is especially because when you start reflecting, you get into a almost like thrown into the stage and maybe strangely enough without any audience. And maybe there is, but it's not important whether there is or not. That's actually a great place to be already. Uh, because, if you can really be thrown into the center of the stage and you have no skills of acting or pretending, no skills of holding on to your marbles and to your composition in order to be able to do something that will make sense and that will catch the attention and maybe pick up some appreciation or whatever. Very difficult, almost impossible. No wonder many people don't even attempt to do certain things because it's tough. And the last thing people want is to be acknowledged as, as weirdos or as peculiar. And, and you inside you really want acknowledgement second to none. You want an acknowledgement. If something acknowledges someone, it should be acknowledged. It should be acknowledged in a certain way. It's very easy to be happy too early, to start the celebration too early, because you're so sure that indeed that's what's going to happen. Sometimes the key to the safe is not where you left it. You know, how many times did I face a situation where my own computer would be like, no password, no password, like no password, and then it's locked, and then you look at it and you say, this is my computer, and there's a passport that's preventing me from going into my computer. Now you start thinking. Once you start thinking about what the heck, then you're in. And once you're in, it's not about what initiated it at all instantly. It's almost like if you were to take two small bags and put two people's valuables in these two bags. This belongs to this and this belongs to that, and you close it, you put it in a safe and you close it, and then you open the safe one day, and then you realize that one bag is empty and the other bag is twice as full as. So then the fact on the surface is that there are only two keys, and these two keys were in the hands of these two people. So and each one of them individually, independently, was allowed to open the safe. Okay. So when they came and saw that one is empty and one is just twice as big, they assumed that the person with the twice as full bag that had the key, for whatever reasons that known only to him, went in, opened it, emptied one, filled it into his, closed it, and closed the safe. And now here, there's a psychology where we would want to think, we would all probably think the same. We'll say, well, it's kind of obvious. So they go through scenario number one. That's kind of obvious. Okay. He opened it. He did it. And that's why it is what it is. And that's all there is to it. Then you start saying, why would he do it? Yeah, well, why would he do it if he knew that he cannot get away with it? If indeed he did it. It's just too obvious, okay? So this goes forever. Forever. And another person came and said, well, we cannot exclude the possibility that one bag opened on its own and that bag went to the other bag and opened it itself and emptied itself onto the second bag and closed the bag. And that's all there is to it. Okay? We cannot exclude that. because you have to prove why. Why is it impossible? Okay, so fine. The point of all point that I'm trying to discuss with you here is actually the fact that nobody, but nobody, really thinks about the probability that the person with the empty bag was the one who did it because he wanted to take revenge or whatever it is, whatever reason with the other person. Okay, things that are known to us, but that wasn't the automatic approach and reaction. Now, most really capable and incredible people will choose the probability of the bag opening on its own behalf, emptying itself into the second bag, closing the other bag, and going back to whatever. Because no one can prove that it couldn't have happened, like firmly. Uh, so, why am I saying that? I really don't know. I forgot already what I said 10 minutes ago. But if I was to improvise and to think where it came from and where it's leading me to is the reflection. The fact that we want to create and accomplish another loop and then find ourselves in a location where we thought already ahead of time that indeed that's where we're going to end up, so to speak. And that's where you want to make sure that you're met with the composition that is exactly what you need. So you're saving on wasting time. What am I doing? Who am I? Where am I coming from? Where am I going to? Am I starting now? Do I have everything I need? And if I do, then how do I put it together? And is there any mechanism in place to remind me even when I'm forgetting something? And all this. Just imagine all this is gone, erased. You come and you're already at your best at the very very beginning, already at your best. You know what a great feeling that is, to be at your great behavior, great achievement uh, in the early stages of the process already, like a veteran, like a real seasoned fighter. So uh, these reflections, even though they can be kind of primitive, like kind of in the way it's taking place, but in the same token, the results on the surface tells you a different story, and you couldn't care less what is the hygiene of the vision here. How does this vision appeal to me in a certain way where it's touching my heart, touching my soul? Yeah, it can be cliche. You can talk about your heart, your soul. Sometimes it feels funny. So my heart touched my heart, my soul. Um, vibes, whatever. But lucky for us that indeed, if all this is indeed taking place, then you will see more paintings that you find out that are actually we're giving birth to, and a full body of work is forming in front of your eyes. This is actually my life, if you think about it. It's not my life as a great that paints well and is thoughtful and talented and capable and all this, but it's more like you turn your head, you turn it back. There's a full body of work to an acceptable extent in front of you, already telling the story. Already, any point of that loop that you will insert yourself into it, you will feel like it's a good place to roll into that vehicle in motion. You will, whatever it is that you'll hear, you will feel as if you were at the beginning of it, or that you were to feel that this is the beginning. Anywhere that you zoom in with your show, your face, and show you kind of this motion towards in the rolling heaven of this majestic vehicle, and you feel immediately that you're purposeful, what it's all about, that you're familiar with the composition, you're familiar with the ingredients, the items, you understand what it is, the story that is being told on behalf of your knowledge, and when you see it, and you don't, and whatever you turn your head up, down, right, left, there's always a story that is being told that you happen to understand. Even if there's fragments from different stories that come your way, your system is compatible to go patiently with each one from beginning, middle, and end, and then somehow also at the end, when you feel a little more comfortable, you start with this grand weaving, and you happen to be inside it. That's pretty exclusive and stylish, like first classish, like uh, uh, the epitome of clean cut, the that which smells good always, always. So you are going to continue to know that anything can go wrong and things will go wrong. Things go wrong fast. You're driving, everything's good. Oops, flat tire. And then you look around and say, from all the places in the world, from all the times in the world, and on, this needs to happen now, correct? You know, you wake up in the morning and you had plans the night before for this wonderful day to come, and you remember it because you hand wrote everything, and you put that piece of paper next to you on your nightstand, and so you know what it's all about. You wake up, but still, you'll find yourself automatically, indirectly dwelling in prolonging, postponing, adding, questioning, most of which is unnecessary because the plan is sealed, and the go ahead for this constellation to start uh, implement and show its real strength. Um, you will definitely have to reflect before you take your daily walk, because you definitely don't want to be struck by anything. You want to kind of go take a walk and be able to come home and enjoy and finish your hot chocolate and attend to your easels and canvases and music and picking up that precious pen that you love so much and handwrite. Poetry. Yeah, poetry. Um, I was at the doctor's office recently and whatever, and they asked me, how do I refer to myself? He, he and him, she and her or her, whatever. I swear to God, it made me feel nauseous. And I don't have anything against anybody. It's just what bothered me is that they managed to confuse me. And you know what? It takes a friggin' an inhuman effort to confuse me. So at the doctor's office, when I had to complete this whatever survey or something, or on their laptop that they give you, and they started saying about gender and how do you, and I looked at it and I said, I must use this friggin' profanity to say, I said to myself, you sons of bitches, you managed to spoil everything. And it's like I feel like I'm in a part of a movie, that I'm really expressing a level of disappointment. And said, what do they want from me? what do they want from me? What is it that at my disposal that is mine that should concern them, that they should be concerned by? What is it that allows them to exercise a power that they hardly mastered and or owned and or purchased and or gained, to teach me? And just imagine how many people just happen to be the wrong people to be approached and taught and preached by the system itself. I mean, it's a joke if you think about it. Especially if you like someone who play with the world in such a way that is just uh, magnificent, only because you're an artist, only because you paint paintings. That's a great feeling to have. That you're erecting that world, and then you can put it on pause, and then you can just shrink it because you think it just needs that little level of reckoning, and then you widen it, and then you push it up again. Just a million things. And not only that, this description is real. It's a description of things that happen all the time. And when they happen, the composition that are being created, they don't go anywhere. They don't disappear. You earn them, you worked hard, you put them together, they remain there until they are used for the original use that were created for. So there is a completion of that cycle. This is crucial. There is an announcement that you're in good hands, and that's a good feeling because it comes for a source that is respectable. And um, so you wake up every morning and you realize you're still in the game. And this game is precious from all angles possible. It's that simple. Well, if it's not that simple, it should be that simple. Maybe if it's just a little bit simple that you think, and feel blessed that indeed there's some kind of a progress. Any little tiny progress in the realm of things, in the jungle of options and possibilities and scenarios, and you happen to be in and within each one of them. Any little tiny progress is massive. On the surface, it's massive. So be careful. It's just like, having a vape with smoking something you don't really exactly know. And you smoked a joint or two in your life, and you said to yourself, and then you take one puff and then you unfortunately take a second puff because it can make the difference. And indeed, the metaphor of it in being derailed, the unnecessary, inevitable derailment. Why am I saying inevitable? Because always in the crucial moment, you will do that thing that which you didn't know why you did it, but you knew enough to know this is up to no good. Better avoid it. Skip it. Well, at least if the damage is not too debilitating, you'll come back, and that memory will never leave you. And good for you, lucky for you, because you'll be in sync. You'll be on guard. You will not expose yourself to any slowdowns, and you will be creative as hell. Creative as hell. And I see it. I think that my growth, other than in the studio, other than painting paintings and thinking and believing that I saved the world in doing so, which I think I'm saving the world, because there's just another 1 million or maybe 14 million, maybe 72 million artists walking around, or maybe 225 million artists that are walking around making their lives happy and miserable in the same time in the attempt to create them. And there's over 500 million those who are ready to devote their lives into the process and to tell the world that their engagement is unconditional and their contribution is unconditional, uh, and their donation is unquestionable. And I'm one of them. So I feel all these millions, wherever they are. You take me to any studio in the world of any type or any kind or any level artist in existence, I will not feel strange or out of place. I will feel immediately that I'm in a familiar environment. I will understand more than not understand. So that universality or the universal aspect and feeling that accompanies it is something so lovely, so so rewarding, so appealing, so accommodating, so friendly, so supportive. I mean, and so much more. Um, how can you not feel happy? How can you not feel good? So the the hope that vis-a-vis simplicity, you understand how crucial this sophistication is, this level of sophistication is, what it really is all about also, but how crucial it is, how crucial it is to uh, to have that, especially in our case here, as a given. A lot of the things that I see that is a result of the creations of people that I know that make it their business and their time, and they create, even if they don't create something that you will say, oh, wow, flattening, unbelievable. No, no, it can be just nice also. You can say, this is a nice exhibition of art. Nice. Once I would be hurt if someone would say nice about my work. You know, I would say to myself, really? You son of a gun. Who the friggin' heck you think you are? And who needs you here? No one. I mean, no more. This used to go through my head like, did he or she just say nice about this exquisite piece of art that I created? Like, so I abandoned this self evaluation and self recognition that is over the top, and I stopped thinking about this exquisite piece of mine doesn't exist anymore. And I keep my mouth shut when someone says, this is nice work. Instead of saying, really? You friggin' asshole? It really is nice, you think? Okay, good for you. Put all this aside and reveal that real person there, because you, as a veteran of the world of art and all the requirements and the dedication and the putting in place a plan, even if it's a pathetic plan, it's a plan, and just watch your growth. Just watch your growth. And then you realize by the minute that if you can continue to hold your breath, because for the most part, if we hold our breath, we prematurely panic. We panic prematurely due to lack of knowledge of what's really going on. You hold your breath 5 seconds, you're saying, I think I'm going to die or something. Oh, but if you realize that those 5 seconds are 5 incidents of 1 second that tells you you made it well, and then if you become if you celebrate those seconds, you will be so busy with the seconds themselves and with the act itself. Then you look and you see 47 seconds, which is an incredible time underwater. But you, the more and the longer you realize that you can hold your breath, the more you realize that it's because you see that and discovered the results um, immediately. No waiting time. It's there. It's like every second you see already, and then you're amazed by the fact you start trusting the process. That if you do this and that, it equals that. It leads to that. It equals that. That leads to this, and it's and you have you know enough to realize that this works. This is good. And you remain underwater. And suddenly it's not about holding your breath. It's about making a point. It's about implementation of a state of mind and attitude. Um, you know, and and then we'll wait and see what the result is, and then we'll take it further and we'll see what we learn from it. Okay, so we just conversed with you for 50 minutes, 50. That's a lot. So uh, so if you want to have your own reflection and resolution 2024, think about the last 50 minutes and think about the way I'm going to close in on the on the uh, conclusion of this. Yeah. Um, so, and then you realize if I needed to do this, it will be an impossibility for me. It's not because I'm stupid or because I just don't know. I just don't know. I wouldn't know where to begin, what to say with this. Unprepared, just like that. Okay. So when I saw Fraser Doherty in the early days doing his thing, he was very peculiar and very kind of weird, borderline weird. But it was the times, 45 years ago, 40 years ago. The equipment was ancient, but the excitement was first class excitement. So I learned about maybe talking about nothing, like literally borderline saying maybe talking about nothing, but still making something of it that lasts for an hour. And when we first started this show, and my first 11 years were 2 hours a show, I used to have monologues that were like 10 minutes shy of 2 hours. And it's not because I forced the words and the sentences into it in order to make time and to pray to God that I can fill up enough to say that the show is being concluded and we love you. We'll see you next time. So here, I'm just like doing this, for example. Uh, and I'm again asking for I don't know if I should say mercy, yeah, because we don't want to. Yeah, this is good. And then I want to hear uh, mm, oh yes, okay, this is good. This is the request from mm, mm. So the now it's time for the coffee. And let's see, we have the minutes. 5 minutes. A righteous maneuver akin to a blink, reminiscent of a prize winning Iron Man. Amidst a quiet celebration, a amidst a quiet celebration, a carousel spinning round and round, perfected, perfected a sample of one-way time there. An eclipse of misguided routes. An eclipse of misguided routes, grinding the teeth of onlookers. A closer examination reveals a fervent desire for life, a subtle hint that refused to pass the bill to the other end of the table. Sometimes it's not about rounding up the usual suspects. You granted yourself a rare moment, utilizing it in a special way. You healed the harshest treatments, tending to the slow burning mixture of elements that illuminate the inner passage in obvious willingness, leading to a fair share in an equitable environment, projecting a tendency to do good unto others unhindered. Let's see. Yes. Now lay the unvarnished facts on the table, unfolding the narrative of emotional accuracy, as if a long awaited relief finally surfaces. Passing on the greatest testimony, loving oneself as a foremost requirement. Aren't you fortunate, you resilient soul? Aren't you fortunate, you resilient soul? Um, so that's like, is it, did I write there? Yeah, okay, so let's see. Okay. Yeah, I think we can do that. Okay. Uh, okay, here it is. Oh, yeah. Okay, this is actually not bad at all. Okay. So, let me see. So, in any case, I hope that you got something out of all this um, condensed information of my thoughts and feelings and aspirations and whatnot. Wish you a happy new year, year 2024, as we're sitting here January 3rd, year 2024, on Wednesday afternoon. This coming Saturday, January 6th, we're getting ready for an opening of the wonderful group art show by Josh Dayton, Steve Lotion, and myself. It's this Saturday, January 6th, from 4 to 6:30. From 4 to 6:30, you're all welcome. Great art on display through the month of January. And of course, we're going to continue on a monthly basis. We're going to be here tomorrow as much as we were here yesterday and as much as we're here this afternoon of Wednesday, January 3rd, year 2024. And we love you and we know you're out there and we're appreciating you. And we'll see you soon. And we'll see you this weekend, Saturday, June 6th.